Alrighty, guys, this is Snugsonblitz, and we're up to tier 9 in my tier rankings based on one single thing, and that is fun. Fun does not mean OP, it means I enjoy them. That's it, and it's very subjective. What I like may not be what you like. Why? You might like to sit at the back and snipe. I would recommend a tank destroyer for you. You might like to zoom around the map causing all sorts of trouble. I'd recommend a light tank for you. What you like and what you enjoy is not what I like and what I enjoy. But we may have some overlap. There are some tanks you may agree with me on, and some tanks you may not agree with me. I like light tanks. I like tank destroyers. I like medium tanks. I like heavy tanks. Just depends on my mood, who I'm playing with, if I'm playing alone, how tired I am, all sorts of things, all sorts of variables. But it's just my feeling. So you're probably going to disagree with many of these tanks because you are you and I am me. There may be some tanks you agree with and say, yeah, I completely agree, Snugs. Or you may think, oh, that's my favorite tank in the game. Why did Snugs put it so low? Hey, it is what it is. But you may want to check out the tanks that I put higher on this list and see if you think they're fun too. But that doesn't mean you should ignore the tanks near the bottom because you may love them. Who knows, right? And so before we get into ranking these tanks, and I guess this will be about a 25, 30-minute video, maybe you want to grab a drink, pen and piece of paper, or something to jot notes down. I don't know. But I would like to ask before we do it, consider subscribing if you're not subscribed. It would really help out the channel, really help me out. I really appreciate that. If you're a subscriber already, thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. Now, you can do one other thing. You can tell your friends about this channel. I'm a teeny tiny channel in the Blitz world. Really be nice to get up to some respectable numbers by next year. Anyway, one other thing, if you want to become a Patreon, you can do so by checking the link in the description below, where I will hopefully help you become a better tanker. And soon I'll be able to play with people all over the world. So I'm looking forward to that, maybe in February, maybe chaotic, but it should be very interesting. And times will go down because there'll be more tanks available, more players available. And at the same time, Wargaming may be able to separate the newer players from the good players, giving newer players more chance to learn how to play before being thrust into horrible games with good players, which is tough for them and ruins their fun. I'm not sure which is the reason they're doing it for, but I would suspect the latter, to keep the games more interesting. Anyway, let's get to it, shall we? Oh, and lastly, of course, comment down below, what are your favorite tanks in Tier 9? What tanks do you agree with me, and what tanks do you disagree with? Let me know what tanks you like, and tell me why. For example, you like, I don't know, the Bat Chat because it's fast and agile. But that's enough. I'm just curious why you chose those tanks. Okay, starting off with the 50T Proto. I think it's a fun tank. It's got tungsten shells. It's quite agile. Can do a little bit of everything on the battlefield. Versatility helps, and likewise, the 50 TP goes right next to it. I don't have this tank, the A Phase 1, so I can't judge it. I haven't seen it enough, even in game. Maybe I've seen a handful of times, 10 times, I guess. Would be nice to get my hands on it one day. Maybe Wargaming could sell this in the store. Come on, hint, hint. MX-31ER. I think this is agile. The gun doesn't have the best pen, but its speed and maneuverability make it a fabulous tank. But you will get wrecked a lot if you don't know what you're doing. MX-50-120. I think this is quite an enjoyable tank. I'm torn. I think I'm going to put it in I'm going to put in decent. I think these tanks are more enjoyable than the MX-5100, but competitive-wise, about equal, I would say. Bat Chat. It's a light tank, but it's fast. It's fun. I really like this tank. I've always liked it. I thought it was my favorite in line until they boosted the Tier 10 stats. And the Tier 8 is now very solid as well. Tier 7 has always been a solid tank. BZ-58-2, well, it's very similar, but I'm actually going to downgrade this. Why? First of all, it's a premium tank. Second of all, it's hard to get. This was free, by the way, so that's why it definitely boosts up the rankings. So I'm just going to punish this one, unfortunately, because it's kind of behind a big paywall. So that's going to reduce your fun when you pay a lot of money when you can get a tank through tank, which is equal to it. And this one we got for free. CC-M2, 3 shells, yeah, dangerous, hold down capability, decent. Damage potential, it's a little bit slow, but bouncing capability is great. So Scent 7-1, I think I'm going to put it into fun. Not quite as OP as it once was, I felt. For people who know what they're doing, I thought it was a very strong tank. but still enjoyable if you know what you're doing. I like it. Char 4, I'm going to put it on Let's Ride. I really like this tank. Camo, gun, speed. It's like a bad chat, single shell. I really like this tank. You might not. Let me know. Cobra. I'm going to put in decent. You can have some crazy good games, but you can also have some horrible games. The pen is, all over the place. Sometimes you'll have crazy good games. Next game, you'll do pretty much trash. So my friend really hates this tank. He was very disappointed. It's like a Conway, but with only one gun. Conquer. I really like this tank. It's a heavy one. The gun works. Armor, not so much. The speed as well. It's got the speed boost, so I'm going to put it in. Let's ride. Conway. I don't think you should use the top gun. Use the stock gun, and it is a fun tank. Played in a platoon, very fun actually. CS59. I'm just going to say it's okay. I think the tier 8 is tier for tier better. E50. It's a little bit slow for medium. Yeah, sluggish acceleration. I think it needs more speed, just like the Panther before it. E75. I think it's a fun tank. Side scraping ability, good armor, definitely carrying potential. The first tank I could get to 63% with very little effort. Emil 2. I'm going to put right next to the CC Mark II. Not as good as the Kronwagen, but very solid tank. Foch without a turret. I'm going to drop it down a little bit. Glacier. I don't have it, so I can't judge, but nobody seems to like this tank. It's supposed to be a copy paste. Again, because it's behind a paywall kind of thing. I'm going to drop it down. Hori. I'm going to put in decent. It's a solid tank destroyer. It can do some serious damage. IS-8. I really like this tank. I get some crazy bounces. The gun is solid. It's heavy. Don't think you can go against tier 10 heavy tanks easily. You're going to get shredded. But against the right targets and using your speed, you can have a lot of fun in this tank. Yak Tiger. I think it's Let's Ride. Yeah, baby, man. This is a lovely, lovely tank. Oh, it's like Yak Tiger 8.8 on steroids. Oh, love this tank. Shredding. K91. Decently fast. 3 shells. Decent armor. Can do a little bit of everything on the battlefield. Versatility means a lot to me. Let's go to T50. It's decently fast. 3 shells. Yeah, could be dangerous. KPZ-70. I actually really like this tank. It's like a derp gun. Decent armor. These two tanks I play quite well. 70% or so, 68 I think, and 71, something like that. Very strong tanks. To me, they're kind of OP. This tank used to be disliked by many players. I got it after a long time finally, and I was like, man, this tank is great. So, yeah. Leopard PTA. I think this is fun, but you'll get wrecked a lot, so that's going to drop it down. I think I would want to put it just here, but you will get wrecked a lot, so it's I'm just punishing it a little bit for that. M103 can just be okay. It's a shell of what used to be. ST1, too slow for me. Too slow. I mean, I have some very good games in the tank, but it's just too slow. It's like chugga lugga lugga lugga. Even the speed boost doesn't give it enough. Standard B, put up here. Might even put in Let's Ride just because of the HE. Yeah, I'm gonna put in Let's Ride. Yeah, let's go for it. Really enjoy that tank. Motion, slow. Your job is to bounce. I think it's a barrel of laughs, I guess. So I can put in decent. 425. I think it's 452, isn't it? So I'm gonna drop it down. It's just okay. You'll get balance. It's to me, it's a worse IS-8, and besides, it's a premium tank, so punishing it for that. Object 74 without a turret. I think it's better than the Foch, even though my Foch has much better stats. Object 752. It's OP, but it's also a lot of fun. I can do everything on the battlefield. That's very important. Object 84 is very slow for what it is, but that spotting mechanism makes up for it, but I can't put it higher than decent because of that. Regressor, I'm going to put it down here next to the BZ because they're tanks you have to get in. I don't know, it was a seasoned tank, right, if I'm not mistaken, and because of that, it's hard to get it fully loaded unless you spend a lot of money. It's ridiculous. You got these two tanks. This was free, guys. I'm reminding you. So that really punishes tier 9 tanks. The 12254. I'm gonna put it in decent. You can have some very fun games and cause all sorts of trouble because you're a crazy DPM, but sometimes hard to manufacture shots because you are very low to the ground and you have to peek on over ridges and things like that. So a little bit tough. Pattern. I actually like this tank, but it's tough to play. So I'm going to drop it down slightly. I enjoy it, but doesn't quite make it into this category. T55A, I think I'm going to put it right next to it as well. I don't know why, I can't explain it, but the T54 is the better tank, in my opinion. So that goes up here. T30. I mean, is there any surprise? I mean, it's, I think, my sixth favorite tank or third favorite tank. I can't remember which year I'm talking about, but it's always been in my top 10, always, ever since I got it. I thought this T34 never gelled with me. I thought it was okay. This tank, I was like, wow, like this tank is freaking awesome. Barrel laughs. The three shells make it interesting, so I'm going to put it next to the Skoda. Very similar. Can have good games, but fun? No, I don't think so. You have to work hard. It would be nice with HE, I think. T92E1. Let's ride, baby. That derp gun. It gets some crazy bounces in this tank. It's unbelievable for a light tank. That's crazy. T95, I'm going to put in here just because of the giggles. Yeah, slow. Got the speed boost though, and that speed boost really does help it. Sometimes if medium tanks are charging it, if you back on up and then add the speed boost, they'll have trouble surrounding you or flanking you. So yeah, crazy how useful that is. TL7, I actually don't have it. My friend doesn't really like it. I trust his judgment, so I'm gonna put it in just okay. Maybe even put it in actually pass. The reverse speed is like 10, I think. It's way too slow, so it's hard to get out of trouble. VZ 51, it's okay. To me, similar to the what is it? Yeah, Object 452. Tort, I actually am going to put this into decent. I think this is a very easy tank to drive. If you don't mind taking hits, you can absolutely take out a tank in 3 seconds flat. Pretty much, most tanks won't be able to out DPM you, and you can just shred them. Really, I used to love going against E5s and just walking up to them, taking out a tier 10 in my lowly tier 9 tank. And it was one of the best tanks on the battlefield. It just couldn't out DPM me. Type 61, you're going to be surprised, but I'm putting in fun. It's a tough tank to play. Most people will not agree with me. It was a hard tank for me to grasp. I wanted to get STA, so STB, so I pushed quickly through it and really suffered. My win rate really suffered because of that. But the gun is sublime. One of the best guns in the game, if you ask me. Vickers Light. Sorry, Vickers CR, I'm sorry. Yeah, I think it's a great tank. I think it's the standout in the line, too. Maybe the FV301, about even now, I think. Type 68, a little bit slow. Yeah, decent. You'll be able to get some bounces. You can really punish some tanks. VK, side scraping ability, awesome. We just don't need side scraping most of the time. WZ111, I used to hate this tank. I've learned to like it. It's quite fast, more like a heavium, so I think use it like that, you'll be fine. This is very much like a Hori. Can be beastly. And yeah, big derpy gun, what can I say? WZ114. This is a slow tank. It's a tough tank, long reload, but I've had some crazy good games, and I think it's decently fun. It's not for everybody. I think most people will put it down at the bottom here, or maybe just okay, but I actually really like it. Or not really. I like it a decent amount. WZ120. I'm torn. I think this is a challenging tank, and so because of that, I actually like it. And I'll give it a nudge up, which is shocking for me. I used to hate this tank, even though I did quite well in it. WZ132A, it's decent. There's not many tanks like it in Tier 9, but nothing to write home about. Ritter and WT, we're going to move them up together because they're essentially the same tank. And they go right here into Let's Ride. There you go. Wow, look at that. I finished the tier in 15 minutes. That's the fastest I've been able to do a tier. Amazing. Now then, am I missing some tanks? I don't remember. Maybe, probably. Who knows? Let me know in the comments below what tanks I'm missing. But this will give you a good idea of what tanks I think are fun and which tanks I think are not fun. I don't have the Glacier, so I'm just assuming because I'd have to spend money to upgrade it, which really annoys me. That really stinks, and it's quite expensive to upgrade, so it's just not worth it. Same thing with the Aggressor. That really punishes those tanks. Fun factor We have to spend a lot of money just to upgrade your tank. That's just silly. Um, too much. It's really ridiculous in my opinion. I mean, the E50, if you just give it a little bit more speed, I think it'll be very, very competitive, very enjoyable. But just the acceleration is too slow in my opinion. Sluggish, medium, and that really, I think, punishes the enjoyment. So there you go. Those are the tanks I think are lots of fun. Doesn't mean they're OP, although some of them are. Quite a few of them are actually. I think they're fun. Same thing with this category. They're solid fun. They're decent fun, but they're not. I mean, sorry, decent's down here. I apologize. So here, I mean, they're just crazy fun, and this is just fun. But I think you can have, crazy good games in many of these tanks. But I mean, you will struggle. Many people will struggle in the 120 or maybe the Type 61, Centurion, Bat Chat. These tanks are not easy tanks to play. That's not what this list is about. It's about fun, and fun is just what I feel when I drive around. I'm like, I enjoyed that. So there you go. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite Tier 9 tanks are based on fun, and I'll see you tomorrow with, of course, Tier 10. Snugsonblitz, out.